Okay, so let's get start demo first. So this is another session of this generic repository with unit of work. So this is session where actually we have implement of unit of work, and now you are able to see there is a get call, post call, and get by API. Okay, so if I trying to post something, okay, if it's failed something in here, okay, so that means this will not in save like this. It will not save in our DB. Okay, and it should be rollback. Okay, so such kind of things we will implement with this unit of work. So before proceeding, I'm especially recommend, if you first time visit in my channel, so I'm especially recommend to you go to my channel and especially watch this one in generic repository pattern with ASP.NET Core API, because same series we have taken over here and same example as well. Okay, so let me open that example, same example. Okay, if you don't have this one, so I also mention in my video description the GitHub link, so you can take it from here as well. Okay, so far what we have that repository. Okay, and then also we have that entity and the data context. Okay, and now what we will do, we'll just implement our unit of work. So how we can do that? It's very simple. First of all, I need to create a unit of work class. Okay, interface. So where I need to create over here, uh, create a class using interface and just save it, unit of work. Okay, and then once it's created, just you have to write some code over here. For example, I required save changes, begin transaction, and a commit and rollback. Okay, so these things we have to implement in this unit of work implementation, so that whatever transaction operations will do together, we can manage actually those things in this unit of work. Okay, don't worry about that if it is new for you. So we'll explain more in our in this session as well. Okay, so what need to do next actually? Now I will implement one more things actually here. I'll just create a unit of work, but I will create a generic repository as well, so that whatever repository we were trying to use, so I not need to specify one by one. Okay, for example, I suppose I want to use order repository, I want to use blog repository, I want to use product repository. So that time actually I need to specify one by one over here. Okay, so that is very headaches actually. So in this case what we can do, we can create a generic method to get whatever generic repository we have to pass the entity. Based on this we can create that no, repository, and we can use those things. Okay, so that will implement as well here. So what I need to do, I need to just create a one signature over here, like for example this like I repository, it is a generic type, and then specify get repository, and then specify that type of that generic and then class. Okay, this is way one way. Also we'll implement further, like if some for example, like suppose this is a generic repository we are using in unit of work, but yeah, somehow some scenario may be required some additionally implement that repository, right? So those extend repository also will use in unit of work, that I will show you once I complete over here. Okay, that will do in the end of this session. Okay, so okay, let me implement this now. Implement, create the implementation class, then class, not interface. Now this time I'll just create for unit of work class. Okay, and now add it. Okay, now here just inherit that unit of work. Okay, and then implement all these methods. So let me implement all the methods. So by default it is just implementing with this new throw exception, but yeah, we'll remove and we'll implement one by one. Okay, so first we'll do over here. Okay, first we'll do actually, first we have to require that we have to inject actually DB context class. Okay, so how we can do that? It's very simple. Let me create a constructor. Okay, and here I'll just inject my db context class. So this is my db context class, and then what I need to do, I need to just create instance. Okay, okay, now it's done. Now create instance done. Now what I need to do, for this begin transaction. Okay, so this begin transaction, actually we need to uh, one more reference. Okay, one more reference, for example private idb db context transaction. Okay, so that I required actually for to handle that transaction. So this is the main part actually. Like see, this is IDB context transaction. This will actually handle the transaction thing. So you have to include this one, and it is coming from Microsoft Entity Framework.core storage. So let me import this. Okay, this is imported, and then what I need to do, I just specify the transaction, whatever name you can just refer over here, up to you. So I just put in the transaction. Okay, and in this transaction what I will do over here, I just specify the transaction. Let me over here. Okay, so okay, so now let me implement that. Okay, here just store the transaction, and then what I will do, whatever our db context. Okay, so db context, like our my db context is this, and then database, call to database, and then start the begin transaction. So in here what we trying to do, just try to understand. Okay, so whatever our db context and database, so let start a db transaction and store over here. Okay, so this such kind of a storage mechanism, so we have stored, so that whatever we start, so if we want rollback, so we can easily roll back and clean it. Okay, so that unnecessary insertion will not happen, unnecessary operation will not be happen. Okay, so this is one. Then what I need to do, I need to implement that commit section, commit. Okay, so finally we implement commit. Suppose we start the begin transaction, and then once complete all the operation, we'll forcefully to commit, so that we make sure everything is properly uh, complete, right? So in here what I will do, it's very simple, need to write some code. Okay, so like this way, let me put it async. Okay, now see, it is very simple. Transaction dot committed, I use that transaction dot committed, and then transaction dot rollback. Okay, inside actually this transaction has this method, so I don't need to do anything. So inside this try, if something is happen is after transaction is committed, so it will just catch and it will roll back, and also finally is dispose. Okay, so we have to, okay, one thing I just forget to add, that disposal part. Okay, so that whatever we trying to do transaction and things, that also need to dispose properly. So if you go to your unit of work, so there you have to specify that I disposal interface. Okay, so this one. Okay, so in unit of work you have to just inherit this one, so that whatever dispose method you can just implement in this implementation of unit of work. Okay, so now see, once you inherit over here, you can just implement, so that dispose method will be appearing. Okay, so see, the dispose method is here, right? So that also will implement. Okay, so now it is saying it a disposal, and then finally it is null, right? So this is commit also done. Now what is the next commit? After that, just rollback things. Okay, so let me implement rollback. So remove that. Okay, and rollback also just simple, straightforward. Simply what I will do, I will just transaction rollback, because once I call this rollback function, so it will should rollback dispose, and transaction should be null. Okay, it is very simple. Put an async, so that we can ignore this as error. And then finally we have to change the save changes method over here. Okay, so ideally that repository should not have that save changes method. Okay, that save changing method, it should work inside this unit of work. Okay, that is actually in real scenario it should happen. But yeah, ideally most of the people we use that one in inside that repository. But yeah, I would like to suggest or prefer for here as well. Okay, that is a good practice actually. Okay, so now save change is also done. Now finally I need to implement the dispose method. Okay, so that whatever we are transaction we completed, then automatically will dispose those instance and things. Okay, so dispose, it's very simple, using this GCI dispose and then call it to our dispose method. We have to just create a one dispose method which is need to implement. Okay, let me implement that dispose method after this. Okay, let me create a private variable dispose variable, and inside here this override virtual method we just dispose, and whatever db context we just properly dispose and it is true, right? So that is done, dispose also done. Okay, what are the pending things? Okay, now this is main part actually, this is pending. Okay, this get repository, so how we can implement, okay, the generic repository inside that unit of work. Okay, so that is a major part. Okay, so inside this actually what I need to do first, I need to create, one dictionary, so that one dictionary I need to create over here so that I can store our repository inside this uh, dictionary. Okay, so let me create first dictionary, is a call is repository, it is a type and object. Okay, this is first. Then what I need to do, I need to just initialize on this repository inside the constructor. Okay, so let me initialize that. Okay, so whatever dictionary we have created, just initialize over here and create the instance of this repository. Then I need to implement in the repository section. So where is repository section? Here the repository section. Let me delete, and what I need to do, I need to just implement over here like this. Okay, this is very simple, like we have just call it to repository, can create a one condition and it is contain any type, and then it is there, then we have to store and we have to create that repository either. Okay, and in this case whatever is then created, then finally we have created a repository, and whatever db context we have just pass it over here, and that repository we have to store in this repository section. Okay, and then finally it's returned back to you. Okay, so this is done, and this is done actually for a unit of work implementation. Okay, so let me collapse then. Okay, so what we have implement over here, we have implement begin transaction, commit transaction, also dispose, and then get generic repository and rollback and save changes. Okay, so now moving to implementation. Okay, so go back to your controller. Okay, now previously we have just create a controller with the generic repository, but now we'll create one controller which is created with this unit of work. Okay, so let me create that controller. Okay, so let me create, the name is product with unit of work. Okay, and let me add. Okay, now we have create one controller, and what I need to do over here, we just create a constructor, and in this constructor we'll call that unit of work uh, interface. Okay, so let me call that unit of work. Okay, and let me create a variable and also create that instance. Okay, now it is done. Now what I need to do, I need to first create a get method. Okay, so that I can show you how we can call that now data with this generic repository which is implemented in this unit of work, right? So that I'll show you. Okay, so let me call http get, and over here, okay, let me call it here. Okay, and then what I will do, it's very simple, unit of work. Okay, and here unit of work dot For example, get repository, call that get repository method. Okay, so it is asking for the entity and then pass the entity. Okay, so I will pass to product entity. Okay, whatever entity you want to pass, you can just pass it. So based on this entity, it will just generate that repository, and you can get those that method as well, like insert, update, delete, all the operations. Okay, so for example, if I pass this get repository with this entity, and then what I need to do, I need to call bracket one, and then see there's a whole pre-generic whatever repository we have implements those method you are able to see over here. Okay, for example, add, you can able to add, you are able to see that no, get all asyncs. Okay, so like that. Similar, what I need to do, it's just async of it, so let put on this here. Okay, similar, you can just whatever things, see, you can just change it to like blogs. Okay, if you just change to blog, then you can just call this blog repository and you can get this blog data, right? So like this way, actually we have implement in our unit of work generic repository, so that you cannot create some repository definitely don't require this additional thing. So in this case, you can usually get this data like this way. Okay, so as of now, just leave it that part. Okay, and whatever we have getting over here, just result. Okay, and just return back. Okay, result. Okay, it is a spelling mistake, that's fine. Okay, so that is done. Get endpoint is done. Now I will implement main part, is that unit of work, like that insert, update and delete operation, so that we can make sure whatever transaction we are doing, that is not unnecessary use, right? So what I will do, okay, let me fix this error. Okay, so now I will create a post endpoint. Okay, let me create a post endpoint. Here I'll just create a endpoint. I'll just create an endpoint. Okay, I'll just create a endpoint like post. Okay, I pass it to the product repository request, and here what I will do, I'll just create a try catch. Okay, so what you need to do, you just start with your begin transaction. Okay, so let me copy the begin transaction. Okay, so see, this is just start your transaction, start with the begin transaction. Okay, with this unit of work, and then what I need to do, I need just create one entity, whatever entity we just created over, we are getting from the UI, we just convert it to over here. Okay, for the demos perspective over here like that. But yeah, in a real application, you can just using the imapper, so you can just convert it over here. And then finally what I need to do, I need to call unit of work, then get repository, and then call it to our whatever entity, product add. Okay, add a thing, and then pass it to product entity. Okay, and then finally call it await. Okay, and then once this is a one entry, okay, then I'll just what I'll do, whatever I'll just get is this entity, let it store as a product. Okay, product result, and then I'll use await, and then unit of work dot save changes. Okay, and then once it save changes, so I'll get this output over here. Okay, and now what I will do, I'll just insert along with this product table, along with this product table has a, reference foreign key actually in the order table, right? So that I need to add together. Okay, and also will show you like if something is happening, once it's complete, then is something is breaking after that, then it should not insert the data inside this product table, it should be rollback. Okay, so that actually come in the picture unit of work. Okay, so that is a beauty. So what I will do, I just create order entity, and then what I need to do, I just create whatever result get back. Okay, and this order entity just using this. Okay, this order entity I need to pass this order id when it's order, and also is a product id as a reference key. Okay, then again what I will do, same things I need to call, like await, then the unit of work, then call to get repository. Okay, and then to get repository you have to call like order. Okay, and then call add sync, and then pass it to your order entity. Okay, and here again you can just do save changes. Okay, and then finally if it is everything is perfectly fine, like suppose this one also perfectly insert, and then also again this one also insert, then finally what I need to do, I need to commit. Okay, and let me commit that await dot unit of work dot commit. Okay, and this is commit finally. And if something happening inside this here, suppose something after inserting this, then something happening here, or just saving over here, then insert, and finally some occurring issue over this commit part, so then what I need to do, I need to roll back. So how we can roll back, it's very simple. Simply await unit of work, and then you can specify rollback. Okay, and then finally throw the exception and whatever things you can just appearing over here. Okay, so finally what need to do, we have to response return status code with this status code, whatever status code you want to return. Like for example I want to return http status code dot created. Okay, and along with, if you want to pass it to id, whatever id is generated, so you can pass it. So I'll just pass whatever id is generated, this id is generated for product id, so I just pass it to dot product id. Okay, so that's it. Okay, and it is saying something 201. Okay, it is sending to integer int, so let me convert to int. Okay, so this is done. Similar way, actually just let me open the database and prove it, like how is that unit of work. So first I need to open a database, and also open this bab api db. Okay, and open the database bab db. Okay, this is my db, and just showing you select star from product, and similar select star from order. Okay, let me check whatever the data is exist as of now. Okay, as of now see there's a no data. Okay, so what I will do, I'll just run this application, I push the data. Okay, and one first will push the data in a happy path. Okay, so let me debugger point over here. Okay, and meanwhile what I need to do, actually I use this unit of work, right? So I have to register as well. So one thing I have to do over here, we have to register as well. So let me register that builder. builder Okay, I think I have to register not here. Actually I registered here that repository as the repository, so I need to register here as well. Service, and then add scope. Okay, and here I need to specify that I unit of work, and then unit of work. Okay, and then done. Okay, so now I'm okay with this running this application, so let me run. Okay, now my application is running. Okay, now this is my endpoint of bit product with unit of work. So let me check first, is there any data over here or not? So execute, there is a no data. Okay, now try to post. So what I'm trying to post, my fan product. Okay, so fan product, that name price would be 6,000. Okay, and let me execute, and over here, okay, let me debug one by one. Okay, so it is just creating over here, now adding that here, and then save changes. Was save changes, you will get the response. Now see, I either get the response product id just created 2. Okay, then also create a order entity, and that passes to order entity with this foreign key of product id as well as order date. Okay, then also it is generated, and then finally it is returned back to response in our UI. Okay, so now see, ID is 2, right? Similar things we can check in our DB. Like, let me run, and if you're able to see over here, see product ID 2 along with this product ID, right? Now as a negative scenario. Okay, so what is that negative scenario is, go back your code here. Like, see, suppose I'm trying to add this product entity, but somehow it is failing over here. Okay, so for example let me change it to product id something like that. Okay, which is not present for the failure scenario. Okay, so let me run. If it is hot reload is working, so that should be work. Okay, so again just change to another request, for example cooler, and then price would be 6,000. Okay, 6,000, and then try to execute, then go to here, execute. It should be work, it should be fine. Here also is fine, but here should be problem. Let me put the debugger point in the exception. Okay, and now see, I'm getting the exception. Okay, what is the exception? It is saying the foreign key in primary key have some issue because I'm just forcefully passed the wrong foreign key, that's why it's complaining. But this time it should not store the data. Okay, now see, there is no product table has a data because I already add it, but it is not properly committed, right? So that's why it should not add, will add. That is the beauty of unit of work. Like, it will roll back if any transaction on any operation will fail in your method. Okay, so now roll back, go through exception. Okay, and you are able to see, again just execute, nothing is inserted, right? So this is actually, I want to show you on here, like how is it is working actually. Okay, so if you load, go back. Okay, now here's the, the good example, actually the real world example. Like, if you're trying to multiple transaction in one place, so that is still very, if it is not using unit of work, that is very difficult to manage. Okay, so here's the unit of work, facility given us. Like, if you're trying to use a 5 transaction, 10 transaction, if any of them fail, so it will roll back instantly, no data will be adding on this main table, right? Okay, so one more things actually I need to cover over here. Like, see, I just use unit of work with the generic repository, right? But somehow might be scenario that can happen, that whatever repository I need to extend. Okay, so how we can handle that things in unit of work. Okay, extend repository. Okay, let me create first interface, okay, of iRepository, which will extend. Let me create interface. Okay, here what I need to do, I need to just inherit our iRepository generic repository, so that I can able to get all the uh, predefined implementation. Okay, repository, and then pass it to our entity. So what is our entity? That is called is product entity. Okay, and now here I need to implement one another additional method. Okay, so this is a additional, right? Whatever predefined I have, but I need to implement additional method. So that's called as a extendable repository. Okay, and now I need to implement this one. Okay, so that how we can do that, let me create another implement class. Okay, and then call it to implement, and then inherit that I repository, and that implement over here. Okay, only that method only, right? Not whole method. Okay, only that method. And also what you need to do, that I repository also just we can inherit over here, like for example I repository implementation also we can provide here. Okay, repository and then product. Okay, this is implementation of I repository. So just you have to inherit this repository part. Okay, and then finally you can just inherit your this one I repository and you can just implement over here. Okay, and let me implement this. Okay, now see, now implementation need to over here. So how we can implement? It's very simple. Simply I need to call our db set. Okay, so whatever db set I need to call with this asynchronous method. Okay, db set call this whatever name we are getting, we just pass it to and we can get and just return back to as a result. Okay, return as a result. Okay, that is done, but still some complaining. Okay, what is that complaining? It's complaining you have to create a constructor and you have to pass actually that no db context. Okay, so let me create that. Now see, this db context actually if you trying to extend this repository, so we have to know pass that the base constructor. Okay, the base constructor you have to pass that configuration, so that in such kind of we have implementation, right? See, I repository we have just implementation, we have to pass here. If you go to here, now see, you have to pass that repository itself, that your db context, right? So that's why it's complaining, and you have to pass that db context, so that whatever db context you pass, that all the method, all the entities you can use easily to use. Okay, now extension extendable has done. Now you can use this repository. Okay, so how you can use that directly, go to that your controller. Okay, here instead of this, right, or just create another one, another endpoint. Okay, get endpoint, and here what I will do, just create a public action result. Instead of this I need to pass string product name, and here what I will do, I'll just inject that one I repository. Okay, before here actually we can use directly over here, but yeah, we have to use that repository itself, under that unit of work. So we have to implement in this unit of work, right? So let me open that unit of work implementation here. Now see, that actually I want to show you, like it's have a generic repository implementation, right? Where is that? Okay, this one. So this is a generic repository, but if you trying to use your extendable repository, so how we can use it inside that unit of work? Okay, so it's very simple. Again, you need to just call that I repository. Okay, and like that you just create a I repository like this way. Only just get, not setter. Okay, it should be only get. So whatever I repository, you just get it over here, and that you have to just implement here. Okay, like that, inside this constructor. Let me open this constructor. Okay, and one more things you have to define, because see, still you are not able to see that method inside this unit of work, because let me show you, like for example, uh, let me call this unit of work. If you trying to get over here dot, then repository, so only you are able to see the get repository, right? So that whatever product repository I just edit it unit of work, you are not able to see that, right? Why? Because I need to declare that method itself, because see here I just declare generic repository, as well as if you are trying to extendable repository, so you have to specify here as well. Okay, so that is very simple. Again, you just declare over here. Okay, like only just getter, not setter. Okay, and then finally you will go to product controller. You can able to see over here. Okay, now see, let me open here. Okay, if it is trying to zoom, it will not able to see, but yeah, now see product repository is there. And then try to get that method. See, now you are able to see all the method, like add method is there, get all, get all, get by id, every method is there. With this additional method, which is this extendable, right? So get product by the name. Okay, so then let call this one, and then await. Okay, and then async, and then finally it's return, not return directly, just store somewhere. Let me call it the product, and then return it to return. Okay, okay, with this product. Okay, and let me call it to task. Okay, now let me format it. Okay, now see, it is just generic repository we have used inside that unit at work, as well as if you have that extendable repository, so also that you can use this inside of unit of work. Okay, not like only just use that get method, you can just use additional insertion operation you can handle in there as well. Okay, so you can do such kind of things. So just for example, I just show you, you can use that. And similar, I just run this application and see if is there any issue or not. Okay, there is a one issue because that endpoint things. Okay, because see, I just using this same endpoint, same get endpoint, that's why it's complaining. Okay, so what I will do, get y name, as well as we have to just differentiate the get endpoint like this way, like this is for that get product, but yeah, this is for this get product by this product name. So you can just differentiate like this, uh, product y name. Okay, and then call it to this, run this application again. Okay, now it's running. Now this is our without with generic repository, and this one is like our product with this work with unit of work. Okay, so let me try to get. Okay, now I'm able to see this record, as well as I want to get this one to by the name. Okay, let me pass it to name, so I pass it to fan. Okay, and let me try to get. So this is a extendable repository, and this is a generic repository with the unit of work, and as well as this is handling that unit of work like transaction. Okay, so let me again just try to add one more. Okay, I think we have just wrong code over here. Yeah, so let me change it to back this dot product id, save it, and then just try to add one more product, like for example fan, and price would be 6,000. Okay, execute. Okay, and then debugger over there, let me debug. Finally it's returning back to that id. Okay, the id is 4, and then you can get all records again. Try to get execute. Yes, now it's 2 records. Also, if you want to find this name with this another one, what is that, fan, so you can get fan, execute. Okay, now see, fan is fan have 2 records, so it will returning 2. Okay, so that is done for this unit of work session. Okay, and we'll do more in the next upcoming session. So keep tuning and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you.